Welcome to Larry's Library. It is the first Tuesday of April, so it's time for the Top 10 Tuesday. This time we're looking at my top 10 must-have omnibuses and graphic novels for 2024. So we're going to look at things that are on my FOMO list, and if you've ever watched my Saturday live streams, you've seen that list before. That's my to-buy list, and I kind of put it in the order it's supposed to be released, and I put a color value on it, as far as how scared I am it'll go out of print. But that's not what this is, although all of these titles are pulled from that list, and I've tried to put them in order from 10 to 1. We'll get right into it. At number 10, the NYX Marvel Gallery Edition. So NYX is really, in some ways, X-23's origin before her origin, you might say. It's her pre-origin. I don't know how you want to describe it. So the material that's going to be in this was not collected, oddly enough, was not collected in the X-23 Omnibus Volume 1. Many people thought it should have been in there. I thought it should have been in there. It really doesn't make any sense that it wasn't. But we're getting that fixed now, because we're getting it in a even bigger format, my preferred format for collected editions, the Marvel Gallery Edition. So I am absolutely getting that for sure. Let's see when that comes out in my notes here. I've got that as 9/24. So September of this year, that one's coming out. At number 9, I have one that's actually already out. It came out, I think, about a month ago, and I still haven't bought it, but it is on my must-have list. So I plan to get this one. Hopefully stock will hold out on it. I think it will. Iron Fist Danny Rand, The Early Marvel Years Omnibus. Now, the reason this one is important for me, and the reason it's a must-have, is because this has a lot of material in here. I've always loved the Iron Fist character, Danny Rand, but I never was able to collect the really good early appearances drawn by John Byrne, because those books were always through the roof on value as far as single-issue comic books. Those were what you might call unobtainium. They were certainly unobtainium to me. I didn't want to spend the money to get those, but I really wanted them, and I'm going to get them now because they're in that omnibus. So that's a must-have for me, and that's why it's number 9. Number 8 is DC versus Marvel Omnibus. Now, this was announced not too long ago. Let's see, it's supposed to come out August 6th of this year. That one's supposed to come out, and I do plan to pick that one up. Now, this is a must-have for me because I always saw those ads in the comic books of in the Bronze Age, late 70s, early 80s. I would always see those ads for, like Spider-Man versus Superman Treasury Edition. Those big, giant, oversized, but fragile comic books that I never had a lot of those. I had the Star Wars one at one time. Lost to the ages. I wish I still had that, but I do not. Anyway, yeah. And I would see these, and while I've never been a big DC fan, and I especially don't care for Superman, I did want to see how they did that and how that worked out. Spider-Man battling Superman and things of that nature. And I always thought it was cool as a kid, and I just never managed to get a hold of the originals or any reprints. And now that, among many other things, is going to be in this omnibus that DC's putting out. So I don't have any real want to get that amalgam one. I always thought the amalgam omnibus, I always thought that stuff looked really goofy. But this one I'm in for. And so that is why it is number 8 in my must-have list for 2024. Number 7 in my must-have list is Punisher Max by Jason Aaron and Steve Dillon Omnibus. Now, this was already out before. This is a reprint of that Omni. And I don't know when this came out originally, but I'm thinking it must have been before I switched over to mostly Omnis, because it wasn't on my radar at the time for sure, and it's been out of print for a long time. So this is a reprint of that, and it is supposed to come out in November 5th is what I've got down here. And I am a fan of the Punisher character, and I've liked just about everything I've read Jason Aaron as far as his writing. Now, I haven't read all of his stuff, but I've read a lot of it, and I liked it. And I'm a huge Steve Dillon fan. So, and I like the way Steve Dillon drew the Punisher in the Garth Ennis Omni that I have. That's one of my favorites. So I figure this is a can't miss for me. I think this is an easy must-have, and that's why it's on my list. At number 6, I have a non-omnibus. What I have for number 6 is Houses of the Unholy. Now, this is the next original graphic novel that comes out in the standard size hardcovers, and this is the next one by the unbelievable team of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And you know, at this point, I don't even need a plot synopsis. I don't even need to know what it's about. If it says Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, original graphic novel, I'm going to buy it. And this one is supposed to come out August 13th. So that is number 6 on my must-haves for 2024. At number 5, I got something I've been looking forward to for a long time. It was originally supposed to come out a little earlier, I think, and it got delayed. And now it's supposed to come out on October 1st. And it's The Dark Room Book 2. This is the sequel to one of my favorites of last year. And I loved it. Dark Room. If you haven't seen my review of that one, it's a short video. I'll link it up above, and you can check that out. So this is Jerry Duggan with art by Scott Juan Cristiano. Phenomenal new artist. New to me, new to comic books, I think. But not new as an artist. He's been doing art for a long time. He's a great guy. I got to interview him once. If you haven't seen that, I will link that up. Also, I'll put that in the drop down. Yeah, this is supposed to come out October 1st. And this is a sequel to that one. And man, I loved Darkroom so much. Can't wait to read more set in that world. It was awesome, and I'm sure that the second one's going to be great too. I am supposed to get an advanced copy of that one, so hopefully I can get an early review out. And I plan to have Scott back on the show and interview him again. I think he's up for it, and it should be awesome. So looking forward to that. At number 4, I have the Fantastic Four Omnibus Volume 5. Pretty excited to continue those. I have the first 4 Fantastic Four Omnis. And this one here, let's see, it's supposed to come out on November 24th. So if I'm looking at the mappings right, one more FF volume, Volume 6, if we get it, and hopefully we do, will get me right into the era where I first discovered the Fantastic Four as a kid. And that Omni, if we do get a Volume 6, should go right into the John Byrne stuff, or maybe fill in the gap between 5 and where John Byrne starts. And I have the 2 John Byrne FF Omnis, so I'm not sure what they're going to do there. And this is one thing that, you know, a lot of us have been wondering about, speculating about, is what's Marvel going to do when some of these numbered Omnis that collect the entire run collides with some of the named creator runs. You know, a lot of it's going to be a retread if they do it, or are they just going to skip it? I don't know, but I'm thinking if we get an FF Volume 6, that'll probably be a great jumping off point for me, because I'll have already had collected editions, omnibuses, of all the runs after that that I feel like I need in my collection and that I do want to read. So yeah, but Volume 5, I am excited about that, because that gets us into the Rich Buckler era. Some of the Roy Thomas stuff I think is in there. Yeah, it should be great. Looking forward to it. At number 3, I've got the ROM Omnibuses. Now, there's going to be 3 of these. One of them is already out, and one of them I already have. Now, I have all the single issues of ROM Space Knight. I did do a collection tour video of that. If you haven't seen that, I'll try to link that up too. I don't know how many I can link, but I'll try to throw that in there as well, in case you want to check that out. But I show every single cover of all 75 issues, I think, of ROM. And we're gonna get 3 omnibuses in total. The first one's already out. I have that. And Volume 2 is scheduled to come out on, let's see, 6/18. And Volume 3 sometime in November of this year. So it's going to be great to get all of that run in oversized format. And at number 2, I have another Bill Mantlo created deal, and that is Micronauts Omnibus. And there should be 3 volumes of Micronauts Omnibus. They've all been announced already. Volume 1 is supposed to come out on 4/16, Volume 2 on 9/24, and Volume 3 is actually supposed to be next year. Don't know when, but sometime next year. And I love the Micronauts a lot. I have all of the singles of those as well. I've not done a collection tour video of that. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do that as well. But I do have the entire run of Micronauts, both runs, the first series and the second series, and most of the tie-ins, if not all of them. There's only a few, and all the annuals. I have all that. But I am excited to get them in oversized format, and that's why it's number 2 on my must-haves of 2024. But the book that I am most excited to get my hands on, that's going to come out in 2024, is Godzilla Omnibus the original Marvel Years Omnibus. This is coming out on, let's see, on October 24th, if my notes are correct. But yeah, that is my most anticipated Omni of 2024. Now, I do have all the single issues of Godzilla, and I've read them in that format. A lot of them I read as a kid, and then when I obtained the entire run not too long ago, I read them all again. And, you know, I still really love the series. It still holds up. I mean, there's some goofy elements here and there, but great Herb Trimpe art throughout. There's a couple fill-in artists, but it's almost all Herb Trimpe. And the fill-ins are pretty good, too. Yeah, it is a really, really fun series. It only ran 24 issues, I believe. But yeah, I'm super stoked to get that in oversized format. So yeah, that's going to be a great one. And you know what? I'm going to keep my singles on Rom, Micronauts, and Godzilla. I'm not going to sell those off. So massive double dip, but I'm a huge fan of all of those properties. And 2024, we're finally going to get all of them in a nice oversized format. So I hope you like taking a look at these, and let me know if you have plans to get any of these or what your most anticipated must-haves are for 2024. Put that down in the comments and I'll check it out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next time.